Before this video starts, this story is created by Pibbinator. I'm gonna be leaving a link down in the description so you guys can check it out and read it for yourself. So today I'm gonna be giving you this new series, What If Naruto Was Sent to the Marvel World? And guys, I'm gonna be rewriting What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans. I'm gonna be doing that over, but for now I'm gonna be giving you this new series for you guys to enjoy in the time being. I'm still working on What If Naruto was sent back in time, and I'm gonna be doing over What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans. So in the time being, I'm gonna be giving you this to fill up the spot. I hope you guys enjoy. Also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Kaguya was Naruto's mother, and over on Anime King 2, go ahead and check out the new episode of What If Naruto was a god amongst man. And later on, I'm gonna be posting What If Orochimaru was Naruto's father. And if you want me to continue this, go ahead and comment down below and comment part 2 and tell me if you guys enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new series. Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
Let me read you guys the description. During the battle with Kaguya, Naruto is transported to the Marvel universe. Realizing that no one is coming for him, Naruto set himself on a journey filled with mad gods, insanely powerful tyrants, and a few stones to find his way back home. Let's begin. Hello Naruto. What am I doing here, Kurama? Naruto said. I don't have time for this right now. I need to go and fight Kaguya. As Naruto was standing in front of Kurama, the nine-tailed fox looking up at him in confusion. Naruto looked worse for wear, as his orange jumpsuit was ripped up all over. You are unconscious, boy. That tends to happen after falling several thousand feet. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. What? That Uchiha brat used some kind of jutsu on you when the old man mother tried to kill you. Like a crashing wave, it all came back to him. Him and Sasuke was facing off against Kaguya when she tried to kill him with her instant killing technique, all killing Ash Bone. He remembered Sasuke tried to use his teleportation technique to get him out of the way before he got killed. And he only remembered being sucked inside of a purple version of what looks like Obito Kamui. The next thing he knew, he was free falling into the ground. His chakra cloak was gone. He was unable to use his chakra as he crashed into the ground, into a mountain area. The rest is a blank, and he found himself in his mindscape. I need to get back. Without me, they can't seal Kaguya away, like the old man said. I am sorry, Naruto, but I have no idea how to return to your world. The only thing I can think is the Uchiha boy using that same technique to come and get you. But it's been 5 days. If he was going to get you, he would have done it by now, and I would have felt his arrival. Naruto felt like his entire world had shattered. Everyone he knew, everyone he loved. As Naruto collapsed to his knees. 5 days? I've been stuck here for that long? I'm sorry, Naruto. I truly am, said Kurama. Naruto just looked down at the water below him, staring into his reflection. As he noticed how ragged he looked, his mind slowly started to drift, remembering why he looked this way. From his arrival to the battlefield, his fight with Nagato and the 4th Raikage, shocking reveal of Obito, Uchiha, being Tobi, then the showdown with Madara, and then the arrival of Kaguya. He started to think about Sasuke and how they were just getting along again, as he thought about Sakura and the promise he made to her, with her crying face 3 years ago. As he thought about Iruka, Kakashi, Tsunade, Hinata, Shikamaru, Gaara, Killer Bee, everyone, all of his precious people. As it suddenly came to him, I can't give up, he said. What? Said Kurama. As Naruto got up, I can't just give up. I have so much unfinished business. I have to seal away Kaguya. I have to make sure Sasuke come back to Konoha. I have to go on a date with Sakura. I have to become the Hokage. I don't care if I'm in some strange new world. I'm gonna find a way back. Believe it. You just had to ruin it, didn't you? You had a good thing going there, and you ruined it, said Kurama with a sweat drop. Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Yeah, sorry about that. Couldn't resist. We'll have to save this talk for another time, Naruto. It seems you're about to wake up. What? But Naruto couldn't finish that. As Naruto slowly opened his eyes, but they slammed shut again as they weren't adjusted to the light. As he squinted, he saw a figure sitting next to him. As his vision cleared, he saw it was a woman. She looked to be about 40 years old, but she could be younger considering that she wasn't wearing any makeup. And her being bald didn't help much either. Seeing clearly now, Naruto could see that she was wearing monk robes. As she smiled down at him, "It's good to see you're awake." As Naruto looked at her, but he couldn't understand a word that she was saying. Seeing his confusion, the woman reached into her sleeves and pulled out monk prayer beads. On further inspection, Naruto saw that each bead, as it was a small wristband. As she was motioned for him to put it on, so he did. "Is that better?" she said, as Naruto could understand her now. But how? As he looked down, it must have been the bracelet doing. These are the prayer beads. It's a magical relic that allows the user to understand and speak any language of the person they're speaking to. You can use them until you learn some language of this world, she said. As Naruto was surprised that she knew he wasn't from this world, as he licked his lips, as he was very thirsty. "Where am I?" he said as his voice came out, very ragged. "You're in Kathmandu, Revolve. This is the temple, Kamar Taji. You've been out for 5 days, my friend, but considering why you were unconscious, you shouldn't be awake at all." Naruto nodded as he slowly got up, as he went into a sitting position. "Yeah, I'm special, I guess." As Naruto didn't know how this woman would react to the abilities that he had, he would be discreet as possible, as it was weird to fall from 7,000 feet. "Yes, it was the fact that you were special. I took you here after getting you checked at the hospital. From what the doctors say, they didn't really have to do anything because your body healed on its own." As she leaned forward, "Quite special indeed." "Who are you?" said Naruto. "I go by many names. The Master, High Lama, the Mystic, but you may call me the Ancient One." "And why exactly have you brought me here?" Naruto asked, as he was gathering as much natural energy as possible in case he had to fight this woman, whoever she is. 5 days ago I felt a flash of intense power, then it disappeared. One of my students heard word about a man who survived a fall no mortal human could have survived. The meteor covered it up, saying that you were a victim of skydiving, an accident involving that. But I knew better. You were that power spike, so I sent some of my top masters here in case you survive. And in case you were a world-threatening entity, where you would be taken care of, she said. "So, the question is, are you of that variety?" she asked. Naruto stared in her eyes for several seconds, as he then burst out in laughter. The Ancient One leaned back, her face relaxed, waiting for him to finish. As Naruto calmed down as he rubbed the back of his head, as he gave a smile. "Sorry about that. To answer your question, I wouldn't say I'm of the world-conquering variety. More of the world-saving actually," he said that chuckle. "Well, I suppose you wouldn't mind me asking this. Why a world-saving man as you is here?" the Ancient One asked. "My arrival here was entirely accidental. At least I hope so anyway," he said. "So where are you from then?" "The elemental nations," Naruto said. A flash of hope entered him. Hope that this Ancient One can return him back home. "Sorry, but I never heard of that dimension," she said. "That was the name of the continent that I live on. I don't actually know what the dimension name is. Or the planet for that matter," he said, as he scratched the back of his head in embarrassment. "Your planet must be rather primitive for it not to have occupation." Naruto felt his stomach drop. "So, I'm assuming that you can't help me." "Well, I'm sorry for the poor news, but I never learned your name. What is it?" she asked. "Oh, the name is Naruto Uzumaki," he said. Time skip. A week later. "You do realize I can kick your ass, right?" Standing across from Naruto, as Naruto was in monk robes, was a man. His name was To Mordo. Mordo wore a set of similar robes, but his was green. The man was from African descent, and he was from a place called London. According to the Ancient One, Coral has been a member of the mystical arts for 10 years, and an official master for nearly 7. A couple days after his awakening, the Ancient One had offered to teach Naruto in mystical arts. But Naruto refused, saying that he had a lot on his plate already with using his clones to learn as much Earth language as possible, starting out with Chinese, English, and French. He had enough of that. That was already giving him a headache. And they were also beyond surprised when they saw him use shadow clones. "Alright Mordo, you ready to do this?" Naruto asked as he went into a stance. Mordo didn't hesitate to activate his boots as he used the magical relic to skip through the air and get to Naruto as he brought his leg down towards Naruto's temple as Naruto blocked the leg. As Mordo then started to release all sorts of punches and kicks, but Naruto blocked each and every one of them. As Naruto had enough as he jumped up and punched Carl right in the jaw as his boots deactivated on his loss of attention as he fell to the ground, but he quickly got up back. "Is that all you got?" Carl asked. "You asked for it," said Naruto. In an instant, Naruto was in front of him as Carl's body went on automatic defense as he tried to block Naruto's attacks. But his defense was quickly broken as Naruto sent a double punch to his stomach and one to his chest and then backhanded him away as Naruto rushed over and pinned him on his back. As Carl watched as Naruto held out his hand as a blue ball of energy was created. "Give up," said Naruto, as they then heard clapping. "Most impressive." As they turned to see the Ancient One. "What is that technique, Naruto?" she asked, analyzing his hand with a strange blue ball of energy. "Oh, it's called the Rasengan. It was created by my dad, and it was taught to me by my godfather. It is my go-to attack, but I've got a lot of other stronger versions too." As the Rasengan vanished, as he gave Mordo a helping hand. "Pretty good, Mordo. If you had something else with a more kick, I would say you would have been a force to reckon with. Not enough to take me on, but still." Mordo scoffed but nodded. "I agree. But it's not like you can just pick up a relic with a heavy attack power. The relics choose you. That's how I got a hold of the vaulting boots," he said. The three were interrupted by another master. This man was rather tall and lean, with long grey hair pulled back into a ponytail. "You should consider yourself lucky, Master Mordo. Not all of us get chosen by a mystical relic after all." "Master Kiselius is correct, Master Mordo. You're very fortunate to get such a relic. Given enough training and you'll become powerful enough to take on even myself," said the Ancient One. "But not me," Naruto said, butting in. Kiselius gave Naruto a slight glance before looking towards his master. "I am sorry for interrupting, Master. I only wanted to inform you of my return. I also wanted to inform you of a possible new pupil, a man named Jonathan Pangborn. He's a man seeking help with his paralysis. I believe he's worth your time." The Ancient One nodded as she walked off with Kiselius, walking behind her. Naruto turned to Mordo. "So who the hell was that guy?" "That is Master Kiselius. He has been here for 20 years now. He came to her after the death of his wife and his son, completely, devoting himself to her and her teachings. He's one of the most powerful masters in the world and one of her trusted students." "Sounds like you look up to the man," said Naruto. Mordo nodded. "He's a man to be respected. I know that there are several masters here who would follow him no matter what, even if death were a certainty." "Sounds like a hell of a guy. Well, what do you say about round 2, said Naruto as he went back into his fighting stance. A couple days later, Naruto, who was wearing what this world considered normal clothes. He was wearing a blue shirt and a grey hoodie with simple jeans as he walked through the bustling streets of Kathmandu, Nepal. As he passed through the people going about their own business, he then looked up into the sky as he sighed at the fact that Sasuke hadn't made an appearance yet, knowing that he would sense him if he ever arrived, especially he would be the only other user of chakra on this planet. Walking up to the business window, Naruto saw a television was on with the news on it. One of the news anchors were talking as a headshot of a man with spiky brown hair and a goatee was on the right hand corner. Suddenly, a video of a man with a red and yellow armor popped up as he was taking down a terrorist group. After that, the story shifted to some local flop piece as Naruto simply walked away. Are we ever going to try and find a way home, Naruto? Or are we just gonna wait for that Uchiha brat? Said Kurama. We're not exactly just sitting around, Kurama. Since we've been here, my mastery over your chakra is top notch. I can channel it to a single hand without going full shroud. That's some good progress if you ask me. As for finding a way home, I feel like if there is, the Ancient One would have told me. The Ancient One. I don't trust that woman, Naruto. She's hiding something. And what kind of woman? Identify the fact that she's ancient. But at least she's not like that Senju woman and her genjutsu, Kurama grumbled. Well, she is the reason why we're not wandering around like a bunch of idiots, Naruto thought. This planet is so boring though. If these fools freak out over a little green monster destroying a part of the city, just imagine what they will think if they see me. And then that steel man that they're blubbering about. You would have been able to rip that guy apart when you were a useless 12-year-old. Oh, thanks for the compliment, Kurama, Naruto said. You're welcome, you brat, but seriously, do you ever plan to leave this place? This world is a big one. Maybe you should take the time you're waiting for the Uchiha to check out the sights. And how would I go anywhere? This place have flying machines, yes. But that costs money, and I don't have any money. Moron, did you seriously forget that you could fly? Oh yeah, Naruto said. Damn moron. A month later. Hey Master Mordo, Naruto, did you hear the news? As Naruto and Mordo looked over at Jonathan, who was coming over in his wheelchair, as he was wearing a trainee uniform, towards the two as they read in the library. Shh, it's the librarian, as he bowed in apology. What news can be so important to interrupt my studying of these ancient texts, Mordo asked. Naruto straightened up from the book of Earth Culture as he cracked his back. I actually wouldn't mind the distraction. What's the news, Jonathan? Tony Stark just came out and said that he's the Iron Man. Isn't that crazy? Jonathan said, in excitement. Iron Man? I have no clue who you're talking about. He knew that Iron Man was the guy in the red and gold uniform. That iron suit, but who the hell was Tony Stark? Oh yeah, that's right. Well, he's an American billionaire, businessman, playboy, philanthropist. His country is one of the major weapons supplier for the war in America since the Second World War. As Naruto scratched his head, and by America you mean United States of America, right? Seeing Jonathan nod, he continued. And World War II is where Germany killed over 6 million Jews, Naruto said. They're called Jews, and yes, Mordo clarified. And what would I care what happened to America? Weapon user. Perhaps he had what coming to him. I heard he's not a man that you would introduce your wife to, if you get my drift, Mordo said. Oh, come on, he's not that bad. He's like a real-life Bruce Wayne. Seeing Naruto's confused face, Jonathan explained. He's a comic book character. Oh, said Naruto. So, how is the training going? Jonathan smiled. Master said if I keep up the good work, I should be able to get my legs back before no time. As he then started to roll back. Well, I'm gonna get some dinner. I'll talk to you later, Naruto, Master Mordo. Mordo sighed as he flipped through his book. What a waste of time, he said. As Naruto grabbed another book, as it named The Singularities, as he started to go through it. With the Ancient One, sometime later. Hello, Naruto, she said. Why didn't you tell me about the Infinity Stones? Naruto asked. As she sighed as she poured tea into 2 cups. As she handed him a cup and motioned for him to sit next to her. As he sat down. The reason I didn't tell you is because you told me you were waiting to see if your friend was coming to find you. However, even if he hadn't, I wouldn't have told you until I knew I could trust you. While your company here has been pleasant, I've only known you for a month, not long enough for me to trust you with the knowledge of the stone existence. Naruto sighed as he nodded in understanding. Every day I make a clone, the sense for Sasuke's arrival, before I delude myself that he was going to come, even though it's been days since I came here, and I woke up 5 days later. Now I know for sure if he could have done it, he would have by now. That means I have to figure out how to get home myself. Naruto wasn't even thinking about stopping Kaguya. His sole goal was to get home. The Ancient One sighed. Well, it doesn't matter anyway now, since you found that book. I didn't expect you to pick up Chinese as well as you have, until another year. Now, there is a total of 6 Infinity Stones that are made out of different aspects. These are space, mind, reality, power, time and soul. The one you want is a space stone that grants the wielder instant access to any location through the universe. If given enough power, the space stone can even allow you to travel through different dimensions. If you want to return home, the space stone is the key. And where exactly would I find the space stone? It would be pretty nice if you had it on you. Please have it on you, Naruto said, getting excited, knowing that there can be a way to get home. No, I don't. The location of the stone is unknown. All I know that it is here on Earth after being lost by the Asgardians. Asgardians? You mean like Thor and Odin, right? Yes, the human race will come to call them the Norse gods, which were worshipped in Germanic area. We masters of the mystic arts allowed the stone, which is now called the Tesseract, to be kept in Norwegian hands. The last we heard, the Tesseract went into the care of a church in Tønsberg before it was lost during World War II. Well, it seems like I'm going to Tønsberg, Naruto said, as he got up from his position. The Ancient One got up as well. You're leaving now? She said. Naruto nodded. Sorry for leaving so soon, but I have to get home as soon as possible. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, allow me to give you a parting gift, she said, as she started to move her hand in a circle motion, as Naruto saw a yellow ring appeared. What the hell is that? Naruto said in surprise and awe. That is Tønsberg, Norway, your destination. As Naruto hesitated as he pushed his hand right through the portal, it went through. Well, thank you, Naruto said. I'll make sure to come visit if I can, he said. See ya, as he went through the portal. Good luck, Naruto Uzumaki, she said. Timeskip Tønsberg, Norway. The date, July the 14th, 2008. You wouldn't think Whiskers would be such a put off. No one said a damn thing about it back home, Naruto grumbled, as he walked through the Norwegian village streets. As he walked on the sidewalk, people would give him a weird look on looking on his face, seeing the whiskers. You're forgetting in your world, the whiskers on your cheeks weren't exactly the strangest thing. When people can walk on wall and breathe fire like it's nothing, you don't really give a crap if you have whisker marks on your face, Kurama said. Naruto sighed, but he scowled as a mother guided her child away from Naruto. I've been here for a week and I still haven't found the church that the Ancient One told me about. Everyone I ask looks at me like I'm an idiot. As, due to the weather, Naruto only wear a red t-shirt that write, I love Tønsberg on the front. First of all, you are an idiot, and hasn't it occurred to you that that Ancient One is only leading you astray? For all we know, this is nothing but a wild goose chase. As Naruto was about to answer, he walked past a cafe as he looked over to see an employee inside. She looked only a couple years older than him and had dark red hair that reminded him of his mother. As he stopped, he could use a drink. As he walked inside the small cafe, as he headed up to the counter, as he continued his conversation with his partner. Even if you're right, I cannot take that chance. This is the only lead we got on how to return home, no matter how slim it is. Hello, Naruto said. I'd like to order a cafe mocha, please. The girl couldn't take her eyes off of him as she put in his order, as Naruto knew that she was looking at his whiskers. As he gave her the correct amount of money she needed, as she gave him his change as he walked over to the table. Sitting down, he gave a quick glance around the shop as people were making their orders and sitting down. As Naruto looked at the receipt, as he looked at it, as he saw numbers. This is a telephone number. She gave it to him. Seems like this girl is interested in you, brat, said Kurama with a chuckle. Naruto looked over at the girl as the both of them made eye contact, as she smiled and blushed and then looked down. Why would she give me her telephone number though? So she can talk to you, I guess. Isn't what those contraptions are created for, to talk to people? Said Kurama. But why wouldn't she talk to me face to face? Talking to each other on a telephone just seems stupid, Naruto said, looking back down at the number. How am I to know the inner function of these weak little worms, Kurama said. For such an advanced race, they are really boring. If it wasn't for that little brawl you had earlier, I would be bored out of my mind right now. I'd mentioned at the brawl, Naruto was forced to remember a fight he got into on first night of arrival. He was minding his own business when this man tried to rob him with a little knife. Naruto simply break his nose and steal his wallet, which had several $100 in it, which he used to just pay for the coffee. Well, I really don't want to draw too much attention to myself. I have done that already, with arriving in a wormhole that gave off a lot of power. If the masters can find me, who's to say other people on this planet cannot find me as well, Naruto said. If anyone tried to kill you on this planet, you would obliterate them. But I suppose you have a point. The more cover we are, the better, Kurama said. Naruto heard his order called out, as he looked up to see that same girl smiling at him with his drink. Getting up, he thought, it's not like I will be able to call her anyway. I don't have one of those telephones. Though, now that I think about it, everyone else on this planet has one. It would be a good idea to get one of my own. Reaching the counter, he took the coffee and gave her a smile, as her face lighted up like a flashlight. As Naruto went back to his table, "We got company," said Kurama, as Naruto felt a presence coming towards his table. As the man sat down, as he had an iPhone 3G, if Naruto remembered correctly, from the TV commercials, as he was the same African descent as Carl. As he had an eye patch, he was wearing a black trench coat that went way down, and he gave off that badass vibes. "You're a hard kid to track down, you know that?" the man said. As Naruto reached for kunai, he didn't say anything, he didn't touch his coffee, he just waited for the man to say something else. The man reached into his jacket to see if Naruto was tense, but Naruto was cool as a cucumber. As he took out the file read, UA E12, as he sat the file down between them, April 3rd of this year. A massive surge appeared over Kathmandu, Nepal. An hour later, Kathmandu paramedics pick up the mangled but yet still alive boy, about 15 years old, who seemed to have injured himself from a failing skydiving accident. When taken to a nearby hospital, the boy was already healing, his shattered bones and organs healing on their own. 2 days later, he had healed completely with no outside help, and he's taken from his hospital room. Around a month and a half later, he pops up in Norway asking for an old Norse church. Naruto narrowed his eyes dangerously. "Who are you?" He wasn't that stupid as some people like to think, as he could now sense a massive amount of negative emotions surrounding this shop. Taking a few glances around the room, he could see several people paying too much attention to his table. Looking back over at the girl that should have been at the counter, she was now missing. This guy knew who he was, and he was prepared for a fight if he didn't hear what he wanted to hear. The man leaned back into his seat. Suddenly, the girl from before sat back down right next to the mystery guy, no longer wearing her work suit. Instead, she was wearing a rather tight bodysuit that showed off her curves. Her curly red hair that had been kept in a neat bun was now hanging down her shoulder. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, he never expected the girl to be a part of this. In fact, when he looked closer, he could say she was not a girl, she was actually a woman. What he thought at first to be an 18-year-old looked about 24 in age now. The man didn't acknowledge the fact that she sat down beside him, as he kept his eyes on Naruto. "My name is not what is important now. What is important is why a person as yourself is on my planet. In case you don't watch the news, I've already got my hand full with an armor-wearing man-child, and a guy with enough power to level half of Harlem in 10 minutes. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, "I don't want to be here, trust me," Naruto said. The man scoffed, "And why exactly should I trust you? How do I know you don't plan on leveling the city after you find out what you're looking for?" As Naruto scoffed, if you want to level the city, you don't need an infinity stone to do it. Hell, he didn't even need his chakra cloak. Just a good amount of chakra, and also a lot of clones, but this guy doesn't need to know that. "You don't even know what I'm looking for, and you're already jumping to conclusions. Seem very stupid," said Naruto. "You don't even know me." "No. What is stupid is not jumping to that conclusion when I don't even know what or who you are. So, I'm going to ask one more time." Almost as if that was a signal, every single customer got out of their chair, as they pointed guns at him, as Naruto read about that, including the woman. "Now, boy, what are you doing on my earth?" Naruto's eyes shifted from normal blue to a cross mixed with natural energy and also Kurama's chakra. "If you don't want everyone in here to die, I suggest you lower your weapons," he said, as he pushed out some of his chakra, as Naruto saw sweat building on the man's forehead. Slowly, the man raised his hand and let it down, as everyone put away their guns, but they stood there ready for anything. As Naruto saw everyone put away their guns, "I'm sorry for that, but you could understand why I don't like everyone pointing their weapons at me. So let me introduce myself. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. The planet I am from is none of your business, along with the way I got here. I can tell you, however, I have no intention of destroying your city. My only motive for being here is to find a way back to my home. I don't know if the customer are same here, but when you introduce yourself, the other person should do the same as well. The man was silent for a few moments, then he spoke. My name is Nick Fury, and I am the director of the Strategic Homeland Intervention, Enforcement, and Logistic Division. He motioned to the woman sitting beside him. This year's Agent Roman Hoff. Well, said Naruto, I wish our meeting could have gone a little better, but I gotta go. The faster I find a way home, the quicker you can stop worrying about whether I will destroy your planet or whatever. As he was getting up, Nick spoke. You're looking for the Tesseract, aren't you? Naruto froze in his place for a moment as he sat back down. Knowing that he had his attention, Nick continued. The Tesseract is the only supernatural item in Europe, period. It was also known for its Norse origin, believed that it was found in Norway. And let me guess, you know where it is, Naruto asked. No, Nick said, but I know where it was. As Naruto gave him a deadpan look as the three sat there. Well, that's not really helpful. On the contrary, I believe what I can tell you is quite helpful, Nick said. What do you want, Naruto said, as he knew no one would just give away information for free. Nick leaned forward in his seat. I am fairly certain that you're powerful. From the little show you put on earlier proved that. The question here isn't whether you're powerful enough, it's whether I can allow you to walk around my planet unsupervised. Naruto could understand that. He didn't like it by a long shot, but he could understand. This planet has just been introduced to people with strange abilities. He couldn't expect them to just jump on the idea, with him being there right away. If I'm going to trust you, I want to see what you're capable of. And what better way to test that than a field test, Fury said. Before I agree to anything, you have to answer one question. Was the Tesseract here? Nick nodded. Yes, it was. If you want any more information, you will have to do this mission. Agreed? Just kill everyone here and torture it out of him, Naruto. This man isn't trustworthy. He reeks of deceit and lie, Kurama said. While I agree with you, I can't trust this man. I can't just torture him. He reminds me of Ibiki Marino, and a guy like that won't give up information that easily. Nah, I'll play along with whatever this guy wants. And if he tries anything, I will obliterate him and this whole organization of his. Alright, agreed. What is this field test of yours? Nick flipped the file open, and there was pictures of him. Looking at them, Naruto was a bit queasy, as it was when his body crash landed. The next picture was of him lying in a hospital bed, looking way better, with bandages wrapped around his head. The final picture was of him from a few days ago. Well, if you're interested, we can go somewhere more secure, Nick said. And if I wasn't interested, Naruto said. Well, I just hope that you're interested, Nick said. Naruto smirked while this guy reminded him of Ibiki and Danzo from back home. He couldn't help but like the guy, he was ballsy as hell. Alright, I'm interested. Time skip, miles away in the Shield safe house. Naruto was resting his back against the wall of the safe house that he was brought to. The building was using its appearance of a laundromat at the front, with a back door you could only enter into to go to the safe house, which you have to give an eye and fingerprint scan. Sitting down across from him was Nick, and Agent Roman Hoff standing at the closed door. Nick flipped the folder open. I know you've been on Earth for a short time, but what do you know of its history? It's war-wise. Only a bit. I know the era you call Europe was a heavy hitter for pretty much as long as it was around, with the Roman, British, and French empires being pretty big. Other than that, I know there has been 2 world wars. Nick nodded. The Second World War started because of the aggressive nature of a Nazi party-controlled Germany. The war taking over their neighborhood countries, including Norway. The Nazi party was a crazy dictatorship led by a man called Adolf Hitler. Their racist and misbelief views led to genocide to over 11 million people, most of who were Jewish. Eventually, a splinter group in the Nazi party rose who called themselves Hydra, which were headed by one of Hitler's most trusted men, Johann Schmidt. This Hydra group was in charge of weapon research and development, and eventually scientific research, and before long under the interests of Hitler and Schmidt himself, they started to look into the occult. After the tide started to turn against Nazi Germany, Schmidt withdrew Hydra from the Nazi party entirely, creating his own separate entity. Eventually Schmidt made a power play and using his advanced weaponry planned to attack the key city of the United States. This plan was stopped by the American soldier known as Captain America. Wait, Captain America? Naruto interrupted. It was Romanov who responded. He was a genetic, modified super soldier. That's not what get me about Captain America. I mean, Captain America, what kind of name is that? Said Naruto. Seeing that the both of them were talking, Nick cleared his throat as he turned back to him. As I was saying, his plan was stopped by Captain America, with both the Captain and Schmidt dying in the process. With Hydra leader gone, the entire thing fell apart. Eventually, Hydra started to resurface, with small cells popping around the world. Nick flipped a paper over in the file showing a small military base. This is one of Hydra weapon research facilities. We recently got some information that there has been heavy activity there. We believe that they're restarting their weapon research program. He then flipped it over to the next couple pages. This is Eric Williams, aka the Grim Reaper, who is a known Hydra agent. A month ago he was spotted carrying large containers into the base with a lot of man and different equipment. And what is it that you want me to do? Infiltration, assassination, demolition, all of the above? Naruto asks. Both Nick and Romanov looked at Naruto strangely. What exactly did you do on your planet? Nick asks. I guess the easiest way to explain it would be a samurai and a ninja. Yeah, a mix of them. We call ourselves a shinobi. We were soldiers. Our financial support was taken in missions that verify in difficulty. These missions go from protection to escort details to assassination to information gathering and so on. How old were you when you became a shinobi? Romanov said. 12, said Naruto. You were sent on assassination missions when you were 12-year-old. Romanov asked, shocked. No, that was saved for the more experienced. At hearing that, Romanov seemed to calm down. Nick started to look at Naruto in a new light. This boy, he was a child soldier. And the way he responded, like if it wasn't a big deal. He could tell this boy has been through war. We cannot allow Eric Williams to continue his research. You're to infiltrate the base and destroy it. And make sure that Williams is taken out. As you're doing that, you will be accompanied by a team of my agents who will acquire whatever information they can on what's going on there. Naruto nodded. And who is on this team? He asked. Romanov stepped forward. I will be leading the team. Naruto raised an eyebrow at her but shrugged. Alright, whatever. When will we be leaving? We just need to wait on the explosive you will be using and the team to arrive, Fury said. Naruto smirked. Trust me, I'm not gonna need explosive. Damn right, said Kurama. But guys, I'll be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, cheers to all of your friends in your social media platform. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Comment down below and tell me if you want part 2. And stay in tune for What If Orochimaru was Naruto's father over on Anime King 2. And I hope you guys enjoy. But for now guys, I'm out of here. Peace.